Right, so welcome to the Build My Idea podcast. I'm Joe, and this is Ali, Abdi, and Tama. And today we're going to talk about using AI tools and some of the things that we've learned in being able to use those tools. And I just want to start with the concept of the tools themselves. I'll kick the discussion off with that. So, whenever we try to use a new tool, one of the things that we do is obviously use AI to help us understand that tool. But some of the things I found is that sometimes AI takes you down a rabbit hole and you get stuck in that, you get stuck doing more and more and more things. So you ask a question and you say, what is this problem? What is this issue? And then it gives you a solution, then it gives you another solution. And after a while, you spend hours going down this rabbit hole and not getting anywhere and having to do more and more intricate things. And so one of the things I've found is that it's better off to sort of cut your losses, go back to where you were before and start again. And instead of using AI, a tool to help you with that problem, you could then try using a tutorial or something that you found on YouTube. So I want to sort of kick the discussion off there, gentlemen, and see what are some of the things that you use and what are some of the tips that you've got for people when using those tools. And you can name specific tools, you can go more general in the type of tool. But yeah, let's kick it off.
I think my experience with that, because I'm in the software space, sometimes we have to use those vibe coding tools to prototype things quickly and have something to showcase to potential clients, which is a very good use case. But sometimes when you're trying to prompt the AI to develop the software or the prototype, sometimes it thinks or it starts to think that the solution you're requesting is more complicated than it should be. It's just something very simple. Like, for example, I try to ask it things like perform a very simple crude control action. So I read of something from the database or say something to the database. And then it goes to a rabbit hole, like Joe said, and tries to fix something that does not exist, tries to come up with a solution to a massive problem that does not exist. And sometimes the solution to that is to tell it, forget everything we've talked about so far and just start from the very beginning. Try to do something very, very simple, and then try to avoid the same issue or the problem you hit.
I think that's amazing. I can probably relate to that a lot. So I'm in the media side of things. What I noticed mostly, I try to use ChatGPT with Gemini and VIP sometimes. So I generate the prompt on ChatGPT, then I transfer it onto Gemini to, like, let's say if I'm using a specific photo and I wanted to create a certain look. That's what I did for the previous podcast. Um, I get the I get the picture to ChatGPT. I tell it this is the photo I want. This is what I want it to look. Give me a prompt so that I can put it to Gemini to create that video with Nano Banana. And I did that. So it generated something. It was cool. Messed up a few things. Overall, it looked good, but it didn't quite get to what I needed it to be. So I took a few trials. I gave it more information, more images, more prompts. It messed it up again and again and again. And I think I was just, yeah, like you said, I got caught into that rabbit hole. So sometimes what I've noticed when it actually gave me a good result, what I've noticed is you go back to the original point, and then you just make adjustments to that first prompt that you made with a new image, a new set of instructions, but the context is still the same. So, and then you put it through, and then you tell it to process it. So it kind of has that ability to be able to think for itself. I mean, sometimes, yeah, the same repetitive task will not give you anything, so it helps to reset it and to actually get it to think of a different thing so that it can process things in the exact way that you want. And I think I got a better result after doing that. So that's something that I'm going to be employing a lot more now.
I think in that case, it was really good because, we could try some different things. Like you've got one picture that you give to the AI, but then if you split up that picture maybe and give it the faces of the individual people, it can actually do some quite creative stuff with that. So the process of kind of starting again and doing something that maybe is a little bit different might get you a better and different result. And then you can then combine those. You can even put those two pictures back in and say, I want some kind of combination of this, and see what it comes up with there.
The other thing is also there's so many models out there than ChatGPT and Gemini. I personally just use both of them, and sometimes I use the Google Vids from the Google Workspace. So what I what I try to find what I have found out is you go on ChatGPT and you tell it I want to use Gemini and I want you to create a prompt for Gemini. It will create something, but sometimes that prompt might not even be useful. So it might be, it might not. Most of the time, it's pretty good, which it has yielded results for me. You could also try the vice versa. You could use Gemini to create the ChatGPT prompt, and I think just using those tools like that, that's gonna be very creative, and it's gonna probably yield a lot more results for you. And you're gonna be skilled in a lot of different, areas of prompting across all the different models. So that's something that I've kind of started to pick up. So that's a pretty good skill to have.
You have to act, treat it like you're having a conversation with a person. Because a lot of the time, well, like me personally, when I first start using it, I have the notion that it's gonna be, I give it a prompt and then it'll, give back exactly what I want. Sort of like, I have the notion that it's like a calculator. I put in the equation and it will give me the right answer. But it's like as I got used to it and more using the tools. It's more like having that conversation, back and forth conversation until it gets the right, um, the right, result that you want to. And one tip that I learned to use is asking it to tell me back what I wanted, what I told it to. I'm not sure. Like,
Yeah, that's a really good tip.
yeah. Just to add to that point, I mean, AI has been very helpful in everything we've been doing so far in the past 2-3 years, ever since ChatGPT became ChatGPT 3 and 3.5. But it's also very random. So sometimes it does very well, sometimes it goes to a rabbit hole, sometimes the output is you could come up with something even better yourself. So I think what you need to do is treat it like a conversation. Don't tell it this is broken, fix it for me, or I had this problem, just fix it for me. You have to give it some context. You have to also give it some guardrails. Give me a simple response. Give me, like an informative thing. Give it some guardrails, some descriptions of how you want its output to be.
I like that way, just more than training it. But so this, yeah, what they do in the back end, ChatGPT people, what they do is basically what we're trying to do. So that's pretty good.
So that's it for this discussion. That was a good short discussion, but a lot of tips in there. And so please like, share, subscribe to the channel. We want to start producing more of this content. And yeah, thanks very much, Yelmer.